Hey guys, it's ANicWin, also known as Amy, and happy Monday. I hope you're having a lovely day. My voice cut out on the happy. Hopefully you could hear that. This is a 4-bedroom, 2.5-bath home here in Oasis Springs, and it is not a starter home, and it's in a fancy section of the neighborhood, and it really should be in the starter section. But listen. So I'm building in MissSimReno's save file. I will link it down below because I'm talking about it. There are a few channels, at least 2, that have done like an overview of her save and all of that. So I think she's done one as well. So I'm not going to do that or anything like that. But if you haven't checked it out, you should. Better yet, you should download it if you have the ability to, because it's gorgeous. It's stunning. I cannot say enough nice things about it. But I'm building in our save because this is where I'm playing. My Sims need a larger house, and I don't want to boot out any of her existing families, and I don't want to demolish one of the builds that she's done. So I did demolish an EA home, the one that's at Granada Place. It's gone. That was an eyesore. And I've built this. So this would look better in the starter neighborhood, but sacrifices had to be made, okay? So I'm playing a legacy off camera, always off camera. I really don't think you'll ever see me post anything regarding a let's play, and I just don't think I'd be good at it. I mean, I don't know that for certain because I've never tried, but I just feel in my bones that it would not go well. Maybe it would, maybe I'm being overly critical, but that's just the feeling I get. I don't know. I'll never say never, but right now it's a no. And who knows, I could change my mind tomorrow, so who knows. We'll take that with a grain of salt, I guess is what I'm saying. But for now, I'm attempting the Solar System Legacy Challenge, and the first generation has been a doozy, but it's been fun. I've, played the game in a way I've never played before. And you can't use money cheats, so this is the home, this is their upgraded home. Or will be, they haven't moved yet. And I like it. So you're going to see some design choices that I would typically never make. And that's because I'm building for that family, as I often do. I always build for a specific family. And I'll actually be playing in this home, which is kind of new because I don't play in the homes that I build. Maybe that's weird. I don't know. I usually download other people's builds. And the reason for that is when I build and I record it, I'm building with a specific storyline in mind. And it's more often than not a family that I'm currently playing. Now, every now and then I'll make the family and I'll plop them down into the world and I'll check in on them, if I get attached. But it's not something I do every time. So that's a little different for me. So yeah, that's happening. Now, I do play with my community lots. Every single time I make a community lot, that goes in the world because I feel like I get bored with the ones that come with the different worlds, and I switch those up every now and then. So I'm a little bit more eager, if that's fair, to play with my community lots in my homes. So anyway, I'll tell you about the family a little bit while we're watching the windows and stuff like that be placed. So I have the founding sim. Her name was Margot Hoyt. She got married, so now it's Margot Zest. She married Johnny Zest, if you could believe. And they're happy, whatever, it's fine. I do enjoy both of them. I'm a little bit tired of generation 1 though. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm ready for the second generation to start. But they have 3 kids. They had a single birth first, and her name is Lemon Zest. Don't come for me. I thought it was funny. And then they had twins, and I was really upset by that. I'm not gonna lie to you because I did not want 3 kids, but here we are. And their names are Clementine and Citron. So they just aged up to children. Lemon's been a child for a little bit. And we needed more space. Just trust me, we were in a little 2-bedroom thing that I managed to make into a 3-bedroom thing. And I feel like I like for my Sims to have their own rooms. I know that's not always realistic in real life, but like we have the funds, we can do it. So we did it. We did it. So you kind of saw me blabber through the creation of the home, and I talked through most of the front yard here. So I kept it really, really simple. And the reason I did that is because if you wanted to download this and place it somewhere like literally anywhere but this lot, it wouldn't, be too harsh, I guess, because this one has grass, but not every single lot. That's a 30 by 20 in, where are we? Oasis Springs. Not every single lot has the grass. A lot of them have that desert sand, that orangey thing, that stuff right there. And I feel like if you were to place this on one of those lots, it would look just fine. I didn't try that. Maybe I will. Yeah, I'll try it. I'll see what it looks like. But that was the intention. I wanted it to look like it could belong in, you know, the more lush areas of Oasis Springs and the more dry. So that was the goal. Did we succeed? I don't know. I got no clue. We'll see. So yeah, front yard, really simple. We moved to the backyard. And I, of course, decided they needed a pool. So I decided to do this sort of flagstone looking concrete stuff. I didn't want basic concrete. I wanted this, I don't know, texture. I just needed some texture, I guess. And it's not a huge pool, but it is fairly sizable. I throw in a little whale float because I think it's funny. It makes me smile. And then I do place a few chairs over here. So if you know about the solar system legacy, you know that the first generation is super social. So she has a lot of friends coming over every week. And I like having because it gets really hot here. I like having my friends swim together. It's one of the little club activity things that they can do for points and stuff like that. I thought this through, you know, but I just like that. I like swimming with my friends. I don't particularly enjoy public pools. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't. It's just not my thing, but I do have, my parents have a pool. I had a pool growing up, so swimming was always like a big social activity for me. And of course, I just have some various seating, some various ways to kind of sunbathe and do all those kinds of things. And then this back corner, because I didn't need a ton of skill building items in the back, most of the skill building things that I'm doing, activities I'm doing, I go to other lots for. It forces me to travel, so, you know, I didn't need a chess table and stuff like that back here. So I created this little garden-ish area, but it can be removed. You can pull all of that stuff back and put like some garden planters or stuff like that if you needed a particular skill building activity, or just an activity in general if you were kind of bored with it. But I didn't need it, so I just kind of threw in some filler. Again, trying to keep in mind that if someone were to download this, it might not go on a grassy lot. That's the thing with Oasis Springs. You really just don't know what the landscaping situation is going to be. It kind of causes some stress, not like too much, but just a smidgen. And of course I threw in a swing set there just because I have little children here. Then we have a little grill area. I did use the same lights in the front and the back. And there's a tiny table. It's just a 4-seater. This is a 5 family member home, so not everyone can sit out there, but that's perfectly fine with me. As you can see, I did change some of the flooring and stuff like that. I think it was a pretty abrupt change. But I was leaning a little dark when I did the interior, and then I just kind of thought about who the family was, and I decided that we needed to go light and bright and colorful because it's Johnny Zest. He just strikes me as the kind of guy that would willingly decorate with neon colors. Do you know what I mean? Like he would choose the neon on purpose. It could not be me. I just could not be me. I prefer darker tones, neutral tones. I like color. I just don't like really vivid color. Does that make sense to you? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But we have a little coat rack in the front, or what is it, coat tree or something. It's got a name. And then we have a little bench so you can sit, put your shoes on, unpack your backpack, whatever you got to do. There's small children, so you know they take forever to put their shoes on. It's both cute and infuriating. And then we move on to the next hallway here in just a moment. So there are that entryway, and then there's 3 hallways of various sizes. This one is right outside one of the children's rooms, actually right outside Lemon's room and a half bath. So I decided to just throw in a kid's skill building item, meaning the science table. And because I don't go places for the kids, they kind of have to fend for themselves. And then just a few decorations since it's leading to a child's room. Then we jump into the living room, and this is where I shook myself. I chose pink on purpose, and I don't like the color pink. Not enough to use it in a living room, but I did just because it felt like the move. Plus, it kind of pulled in the pink that was in some of the other elements in the other room. Oh boy. I intended when I selected that couch to use the teal swatch, and I ended up liking the pink one more. And even looking at it, I'm a little shook at how much I enjoy it. So it's got me rethinking things. Pink is just not my color, and I don't think I've kept that a secret, but it's just not my thing. It's just not. It never will be. It's fine, but it's also not. I'm cluttering up this little bookshelf here. I placed some pillows to kind of look like that's where a child might sit for a movie night or something like that. There are quite a few plants. I always decorate with plants, which is funny because I don't have any in my house right now. Or outside, because I just ripped up the flower bed. But I like plants. I just don't have a green thumb. So usually if I buy plants to go inside, they're fake. I'm not even going to pretend like they're not. They're usually fake. And then I chose the coffee table from, I think that's Paranormal Stuff. I really like this coffee table. I enjoy the fact that it looks like it's been hand painted. And I just throw like a book, some children's blocks and toys, and a little flower pot that looks handmade and a remote on it. My Sims in reality don't spend a ton of time in their living room space, but obviously you have to build a home with a living room. So I did want it to look like maybe they had been using it, but I didn't want it to be overly cluttered. Just because this build is for me, I'm not gonna, like I said, spend a ton of time here. Then this is a little tiny 2x2 hallway. I just left this in here because it flowed. It was easier to edit it that way. And then we head into the kitchen here, and I went with yellow, and that surprised me. Also, okay, listen, because I'm not going crazy, I don't think. So those cabinets and the countertops or the counters are the same pack. They're from the same swatch of yellow. They're two different colors, right? Like that tall boy is a different shade of yellow than the yellow that's on the counter, right? It can't just be me. I sat and stared at that for like 10 minutes in real time. And I was like, is that different? Is it a lighting shadow? I even moved them to different walls, and it was the same situation. They were two different shades of yellow. It eventually drove me insane to the point of changing them all to white. Well, first I went neutral. I was trying to match the tile in the background, and then I changed them all to white, and the whites are different. It has to be a lighting thing. It has to be. Speaking of which, I did get a new monitor. So my other one was like a big boy. It was like 32 inches, and it had like the highest resolution, whatever. And I just didn't like it. I haven't liked it from the moment I bought it, but it was, it was 2020, so monitors were really hard to come by. They're still kind of hard to come by. So I had limited options. It was either a 21 inch or that one. So I went for bigger. And it just it didn't play well with this game. So I got a different one. I'm trying it out. I do enjoy the size of this one. This one's a 27 inch monitor, and it's a 1920 by 1080p. So it's not it's not HD, but it's not HD. I mean, it looks objectively good, but the issue here is the coloring. As my voice starts to go, that's weird, but the issue is the coloring's different, and I built half of this build with reshade on and half of it with reshade uninstalled. At the beginning there was no reshade. For this there is reshade, but here's my next issue, and I'm speaking this into the void in case someone knows something I don't. For reshade, you have to have your edge smoothing turned off, and that's fine, except it makes my game look like garbage. Like, so if you have a line of, let's say, terrain paint or whatever, normally it would look smooth. With edge smoothing off, it looks really pixelated and jagged. I don't like that because I have a custom build. It's a pretty good system. It's not like the beefiest, but it can handle The Sims and what I throw at it. But with reshade in to make the colors of the game prettier, it just looks not fantastic. So I don't know, I'm still playing around with that. But if you notice any differences in color or quality or anything like that, it's that I'm trying to adjust. I'm trying to learn things, and I find it extremely hard to Google computer related things because I don't know all the terms. So I'm like, I don't know, it looks pixelated, and that could be like 50 million, not really, but it could be a ton of different things. So I'm gonna have to I don't know, get with somebody and talk about it, or just take this to a friend's house and be like, do the thing. I have friends that are far better at computer stuff than I am. Anywho, that was the kitchen and the dining space. Now, I didn't playtest that table at the time of the voiceover. However, I'm not bothered about a chair being missing or about the fact that I may not be able to get to the back chair, because I have my Sims, the child Sims eat at a different time than the adults. The adults eat dinner alone when the kids go to bed. It's their time to check in with each other during the day. And so my whole family's never sitting at the table at the same time. So that was a personal preference. Then we jump here into Lemon's room. I decided to do the bathrooms and the other hallway off camera, so you won't see those either, by the way. But this is Lemon's room. I did kind of go themed. Hers is kind of this yellow and probably blue, I would say, is the next color that you kind of see popping through. I tried to match what's in the wallpaper. Of course, you can't perfectly match what's in the wallpaper because the colors aren't the same. They say they are, they're not. It's a lie, but it's fine. She is my social butterfly. She likes having friends. She likes talking to other people. She has no sense of stranger danger. So I gave her a dollhouse and a few toys like that. That's really kind of her thing. She's just going to be the Sim that's going to have friends. I don't know how else to say that. Child Sims are hard to create personalities for, don't come for me. And especially when you have 3 in the same home, it's kind of hard to make them different, or at least it is for me, just because they have limited activities. I'm not calling out the Sims, but I'm just stating a fact. It is hard when you only have like 4 options. So that was her room, and then we move on to Citron's room. His room is this kind of green and blue. Citron probably should be like a yellow or orange, but so is Clementine, so it was like a whole thing. I really like his room. I do end up swapping out his dresser because that one's massive, and it was a little too matchy for me as my email goes off. Sorry about that. But my thought here is that he's a smart kid, but he's more into like the hands-on kind of thing. So he likes building and creating, and he wants to make things. He has no interest in slowing down and reading or any of those kinds of tasks if he can't be hands-on. So he's a kinesthetic learner. If he can't be hands-on, he's not interested. So you're going to see quite a few school projects in various states of quality. They might actually all be good. I can't remember. No, one's outstanding, but or excellent or something like that. But he's got a few, and in my head as we play, because they've not actually brought home a school project yet, is if he does one a little bit better, is I'll replace it or something like that. Like maybe he's upgraded it, worked over time. For me, that's kind of how I play with Child Sims, is just to make it interesting. I will have them do bad on purpose and improve over time, because you get to control if they work sloppily or carefully, I think is the other option. And yeah, I always have them be kind of inept because that's fun for me. So that's his room. He does have some pops of red and stuff like that. I just thought it looked nice. It kind of added some depth and dimension because that green and the blue needed to be broken up. And then we move on to Clementine's room. Now her room looks a little bit like she might be the older of the 3. So I didn't plan that very well, but I really, really liked her room. I liked that orange and yellow and the blue combination. And I wouldn't change anything. But I will agree that it does look like she's an older child, so we'll see. But she, I think, is my reader. I think she's more on the shy side. She is definitely an introvert. She wants to kind of retreat within herself, but I also think she's creative in like a careless way. So she's the kind of kid who will sit down. See, I'm swapping out the dresser, but she's the kind of kid who will sit down to like color a picture, and then the next thing you know, there's like a trail of crayons and glitter that you don't buy there, but there's always glitter. You don't know how it gets in the house. And glue, and then she's like off in a corner with like a shoe missing and a sock like around her hand, and she's reading a book. Like she's just a mess all the time. Hot mess express. And I love it. I adore that. I think that's funny. That's kind of how I was as a kid. I'm not gonna lie. There was just stuff everywhere. It always looked like I was in the middle of a thought and I got distracted by literally anything. You name it, it probably happened. It's definitely my own little world. So as you can see, I'm trying to kind of figure out how her room is going to be decorated. I did go back and forth on those posters, and because I at this point was really figuring out her personality, decided that this is kind of her art corner, and you can kind of see a bit of that mess, and then the other corner is her book corner. So I feel like her mom makes her clean up her room at least like once every couple of weeks, but for the most part she just kind of lets her vibe. She lets her chill in her mess, because sometimes a mess is creativity. Who are we to judge? And then this is the parents' room. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I was a little uncomfortable with this wallpaper just because it's floor to ceiling and there's no, what do you call that? Trim. There's no trimming, and that, I don't like that in real life either. Like the room I'm in right now doesn't have it, but my bedroom, my bedroom didn't have it either, but our house did. Anyway, I feel uncomfortable when walls don't have the trim at the top and the bottom. It's just a thing. But this is their room. It's nice, it's big, it's spacious. I do like how calming it feels. You know, it had achieved the goal that I wanted it to achieve, but without being like overly cluttered, because I didn't necessarily need that. But on that note, guys, I'm going to leave you here to enjoy the rest of the build. As always, feel free to leave a like or a comment down below letting me know what you think. You can also subscribe if that's something that would spark joy for you. I will be posting the screenshots on Instagram as per usual if you want to hop over there and check those out. Of course, there's no pressure to do any of those things, ever. I will see you on Monday with my next video, and in the meantime, I hope you have a lovely day and a lovely rest of your week. Bye, guys.
Open up the window. I'm breathing in the last of September. I can feel the wind blow, and the late summer sky is like a giant ember. Everything is turning into gold when the autumn leaves are playing chase. It puts a smile up on my face. They leave their branches one by one and whirl around there just for fun. Some are faster, some are slow, and some are high and some are low, dancing through the last days of September. Since I was a little child, every year for as long